Hi and welcome to This Is Your Life. Well, we're here at Sydney's Bondi Beach to surprise Australia's greatest ever Olympian. Tenacious, defiant and a real larrikin, our guest of honour has always remained a favourite with the public and still totally unaffected by all the gold medals and 45 years of adoration. Now, at the moment, our guest of honour is shooting a commercial down on the beach. But it's not really a commercial because we've set the whole thing up just for our sting. So, let's do it.
Action! So far, it's been goldies, goldies, goldies for young Australia.
I'm happy with that.
Can you hear me, Stewie, when she starts to walk? Okay.
And action!
Well, now, there's goldies for... Sorry.
You know, I'm coming over now. Coming over now.
Excuse, sorry, mate. We're shooting a commercial here.
Sorry. Didn't really realise. I've got something to do too, mate.
This is pretty important.
Yeah, well, you know. Dawn Fraser. Dawn Fraser. Dawn Fraser, this is your life. Congratulations,
Thanks, Mike. I don't believe this.
This has all been set up. They're not real nippers. They're young actors. What did you think when I walked up?
I thought, who's this guy walking right past the camera? I didn't take one look at you because you had the cap on. And I thought, oh, we're trying to get this commercial done. I've only got a couple of hours. Oh, you guys are in on it.
And then you heard me calling you.
Yeah, and then I heard and I thought,
Oh, ignore
God,
him?
I saw the book and I thought, oh, he wants an autograph, but I'll ignore him till I get this commercial. Now I'm really embarrassed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dawn Fraser. Oh, that's a welcome. Dawn Fraser, you're born in Sydney on the 4th of September 1937, the youngest of 8 children to Rose and Ken.
Oh, no.
Not another one.
It's most of your brothers and sisters, Rose, Ken, Joyce, Heather and Alec.
Now I know what was in that envelope.
Now, Rose, if I can just ask you, when you say, oh, no, not another one, they were pretty tough times, and along comes number 8. Was that it?
That was it.
What did you think?
We didn't want another one. There were 7 already there.
Another mouth to feed.
Well, it was there. It had to be fed, didn't it?
And I believe you made a particular comment. Is that true?
Yeah. When the midwife came down the stairs to let us know we had a baby sister, I said, we don't want it. Shove it back.
Ken, can you tell us a story about how Dawn got her name?
Yes, well, the midwife, Miss Nurse Walker, pardon me, said to my mother and father, have you thought of a name of this young baby just arrived into the world? And I said, no, we haven't had time to think about it yet. And at that moment, the midwife said, you don't have to worry about it, just look out through those glass doors and you'll see the sun rising and that dawn rising. And they said, that's a name, there's a name for her, Dawn.
And she was already pretty sprightly, wasn't she?
Yes, and she said, she's a wonderful person, this one. She said, we can't keep her hands and legs stopped from moving. She said, she's going to be a wonderful sportswoman. And look what she turned out to be like.
Incredible.
One of the best.
And when she spoilt girls as the baby?
Not outdoor.
Thank you all for coming in. Much appreciated. It's so cute.
So cute.
The family home is in working class Balmain. But as a child, you don't spend much time at home, or in school for that matter. You're too busy sneaking into the local swimming baths with your brothers or playing footy and cricket. And it's around this time you forge a lifelong friendship with one of the neighbourhood kids, fashion guru Trent Nathan.
Good.
That's good.
Good.
Trent, you've known Dawn, I think, for around 55 years.
You know, something like that. Maybe not. When I was 8, she was, what, 8, 9, 10?
10.
And
11.
It was just a little...
No, I'm not going up anymore.
No. She was donked, you know. She was donked.
With
Very
something
much.
special.
Absolutely.
What do you remember of Trent, Dawn?
Well, I remember, you know, sort of days when he used to play tennis, and I used to go down and try and pinch the tennis balls away so my dogs could play with them. But I remember this when I saw Trent, you know, making a beautiful name for himself in fashion, and then our paths crossed again, and then, you know, he's always dressed me, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us, Trent.
Thank you, Dawn.
So,
Dawn, just as you reach your teenage years, your world collapses. Your dad becomes very ill, and your closest brother, Don, contracts leukemia and dies. So you leave school and work in a dress factory and a milk bar to bring extra money into the home. And then soon all those hours spent at the local bars begin to chart your whole life.
She was a real rat bag. All I had to do was harness that raw energy.
It's your swimming coach, Harry Gallagher. How did you guys first meet?
I think I was bombing some of his charges he had down at the Elkington Park bars.
You wouldn't do that.
Dawn, just listen to me. I took my team to her pool. This was her pool. Dawn Fraser. Oh, is her pool now, by the way.
It is now.
Right. Get your kids back to Crummy Drummy. Get them out of my pool. So she got up on the balustrades, and as my little kids tried to do proper training, she and her little friends started to dive bomb them. The little girls came crying out to me, "We can't go back in, we can't go back in." Well, egos, talk about two egos flashing against each other. I hated her, so I went up, waited at the top of the stairs. And when she came up, I was going to give her a piece of my mind. But she gave me a piece of hers. So.
But you were already impressed by that raw power, weren't you?
I realised that I'd never seen anyone swim so fast. It wasn't the fact that Dawn went on and won all those things over 12 years, never beaten, and she won and got records. It was the fact I'd never seen such raw power. I had some good kids, Olympic prospects, but Dawn was just like a water animal. Little sprints across the pool, no one could beat her. She was just wild. And I thought, God, if this is a sprite, if I can only harness this into a bottle, put it on the end of the pool and let it go, we've got it. And we did.
We did too. Yeah.
And of course, Dawn, Harry taught you a lot more than just swimming, didn't he?
I certainly did. I mean, Mr. G taught me, you know, education, about art, about the finer things in life, and he took me off the cigarettes that I used to smoke occasionally, but but I used to, you know, sneak in the boys' dressing rooms and have a puff. So the boys would get a blame for it, but no, he took me sort of out of the working class family and educated me in other things than swimming.
Harry, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Dawn, in 1955, Harry moves to Adelaide. So at only 17, you leave home to follow him. Now it's 4:30 a.m. starts and 120 kilometres up and down the pool every week, while you also work in a department store to pay your own way. And soon, all the hard work begins to pay off. At 18, you break your first world record in the 100 metres freestyle, smashing the 20-year-old record. So naturally, you're selected in the team for the 1956 Olympic Games in Melbourne. You're just 19 when you line up in the final of the 100 metres in lane 4.
Prep actually drew level on the way home, but Dawn Fraser, with a burst over the last yard, sets a new Olympic and world record.
The whole country holds its breath as you win gold and Australia finishes first, second and third. Would that be your biggest moment in the pool?
Yes, it was. It was my first gold medal, and of course, you know, after all the training, I never thought that I'd ever get up to that standard, and you know, sort of winning it was just an amazing thing. I always remember it, and I still say it's my finest medal.
Yeah. Well, there were two very proud spectators at the pool, and they were your mum and dad, but at first they couldn't even afford to fly to Melbourne, could they?
No.
How did they?
Well, the people of Balmain ran a lot of chook raffles around all the pubs, and that's how they raised their money to send them down there. And my sister Joyce and her husband Bill drove down there, and then you know, Mum and Dad stayed in a caravan on the corner of Brunswick Road, opposite a pub, and the people in the hotel fed Mum and Dad, and I don't think they ever bought a drink because my dad liked a schooner or two.
And also competing at those games is Australia's most successful male Olympian, ladies and gentlemen, Murray Rose.
Hi, darling.
And Murray, you and Dawn have shared some wonderful moments over the years, haven't you?
We have, and two of my best moments with Dawnie are 44 years apart. And the first one was in Melbourne in 1956, our first Olympics, and we went into the Olympic Village together, and immediately we got involved in training. But it wasn't swimming, it was marching. Because we had a tough drill sergeant that wanted to make sure that we looked okay for the opening ceremony. And it's the only time, one of the few times, I've seen Dawnie toe the line.
He was tough, though.
He was tough. But I think on the big day we looked pretty good. And then in Sydney we'd come full circle, and you gave me the torch, and you gave me a big hug, and you whispered in my ear, "Just enjoy it." And in that little moment, we exchanged a lifetime of emotions. Dawnie, you've given so much to everybody in Australia, and you're such a special part of our whole history, including mine. Congratulations, and tonight, just enjoy it.
Thanks, Murray.
Hi Dawn, well, congratulations on a wonderful life and of course a career that the whole world stands in awe of. I got a bit of an idea of what you went through, 3 gold at 3 consecutive Olympics. Just missed it myself, but really what you've done is going to stand for all time as I think the greatest of Olympic performances. And congratulations on what you've done for the Australian team. A lot of people probably don't realise it, but the support that you've given us and the amount that you've put back into the sport has just been exceptional, and you're always there with a kind word or a funny story to help us through some of those tough times, and we really do appreciate it. Once again, congratulations on a great career in life, and enjoy tonight. You really deserve it.
Hey Dawnie, it's Thorpe here. I'm sorry I can't be with you on a night like tonight. I guess you know, everyone wants to make reflections in their life, but you know, what a great one you've led in front of so many people in this country. You've been an inspiration for me and everyone that I know. I'm here, and you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity and seeing you again, and looking forward to watching what you're prepared to do with the rest of it, and keep on inspiring this nation.
Dawn, after the Melbourne Olympics, you are a national hero. It's the 1958 Commonwealth Games in Cardiff, Wales. Here you snatched 2 gold medals. Then you're off to the Rome Olympics, where you win another gold, bringing your total to 3 Olympic gold medals, and you are still only 22. At the trials for the 1962 Perth Commonwealth Games, you become the first female to ever break the 1-minute barrier for the 100 metres freestyle. During the Games themselves, you bag 4 gold medals. So now you set your sights on your 3rd Olympics, this time in Tokyo. But then everything comes to a tragic halt when you're involved in a shocking car accident. Your mother dies and you are seriously injured. Now, you were the driver, weren't you?
Yes, it was.
And can you tell us what happened?
Well, it was the last night of the National Championships and the team had been announced to go to Tokyo, and Balmain Leagues Club had put on a function for my mother and my family, and we were all there, and it was getting late at night, and Mum said, would I drive my sister Rosie home, who lived out at Koima? And I said yes, I would, but I was tired and I wanted to go quickly, leave soon and get home. And it was unfortunate there was a truck parked that we couldn't see, because as it was General Holmes Drive then, it was very dark at night time, and the truck didn't have any tail lights on it. It had all mud splashed over the back of it. And just at the last moment, I saw the truck and I swerved to miss it. And I'd forgotten it was it was one of the first power steering cars in Australia, and the car flipped over and killed Mum and injured my sister and my girlfriend and myself.
And you've had to live with that ever since?
Yeah, so it's been difficult, but I've got a great family and they've helped me through it.
Yeah. Well, you can't train for 8 weeks, but still manage to get into the Olympic team. You're finding it awfully hard, but there is one shoulder you can lean on, your friend and pool manager, Stumpy Lawrence, the father of coach Laurie Lawrence.
Fantastic. How are you? Good. No wonder I couldn't be. It's been fun to ring you.
I know.
So, Laurie, tell us the wonderful relationship between your dad and Dawn.
My dad loved her. He became a personal masseur.
Oh, yes.
Because I was a bit young to be a personal masseur though. But I was one of those snotty-nosed kids running around chasing and following her over to Auntie Nell's in Townsville, where she used to go for a cup of coffee and a scone, and I even followed her the extra 200 metres down to Bluey Rally's pub.
You were the shadow.
I was the shadow, but I loved it. Townsville in those days was fantastic. The Olympic team trained there. Murray was there, John Henricks, David Tyler. You know, it was a fabulous time in Townsville for Olympians. And she was the queen of them all. And a mate of mine, Robert Raftery, the picture writer, sent me a poem. And Dawnie, if you'll indulge me, I want to recite to you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Dawn Fraser. Well, they wouldn't let her go to Mexico because she flogged a flag in Tokyo. From the Imperial Palace, mind you, the Japanese coppers asked for her autograph. Now there's Malice in the Chalice, larrikin lady, rogue, lovable rogue from blue-collar Balmain. Learned to fight like a bloke. Asthmatic, emphatic, enigmatic. 4 biggies, 4 gold medals, 56, 60, 64. Melbourne, Rome, Tokyo. Listen to 'em roar, do we adore? Oh, mate, this is sports royalty here. World swimming numero uno, you know. Holder of 41 world records. Incidentally, first woman in the world to break 60 seconds for 100 metres free. Nothing like her, never will be, endangered species. Like the Australian desert bilby. And bugger me Charlie, there she is walking arm in arm with Muhammad bloody Ali. Will the independent member for Balmain stand? Oh, this is grand, and I'm not being corny. This is Australia's First Lady, and we just call her...
Dawnie!
Dawnie, yeah. This is Australia's First Lady, and we just call her Dawnie. Looking at you now, mate, I can still see that cheeky young kid. You're up there with the heroes, the Don, Weary Dunlop, Simo and his donkey, Queen of the Craft, Keeper of the Flame, Swimming Sweetheart, the ultimate amazer, Australia's Dawn bloody Fraser.
Beautiful, Laurie. Beautiful, mate. Fantastic. While in Townsville, you fall in love with bookmaker Gary Ware. After only 2 months, you're engaged and head off to the Tokyo Olympics. At 27, you are now tagged the granny of the team. You take out what no other freestyle swimmer, male or female, has done before or since. You, Dawn Fraser, win your 3rd consecutive Olympic gold medal. Well, you return home from Tokyo and marry Gary. It's the country's first live televised wedding. But after your honeymoon, your whole world is turned upside down. In their wisdom, swimming officials, the Blazer Brigade, orders the swim team not to take part in Tokyo's opening ceremony march because it would tire them out. But you defy that order and you march anyway. Well, that and being accused of stealing a flag promptly gets you a 10-year ban, ending your career. And for 24 years, the whole world thinks it was you who stole that Olympic flag.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
No.
And you didn't dob.
No, I wouldn't dob. I'm not a dobber, and I think, you know, sort of, if I ever dobbed him when I was a little girl, I used to get bashed up by my older brother, so I used to stop.
But the gentleman who did steal the flag came out 24 years later, didn't he? And admitted
Yes, and he admitted that he was the person that stole the flag.
So tell us what happened.
There was there's a couple of flags down the road, let's go and get them. And I said, yes, OK, fine.
And you stood lookout?
No, I helped. Because Deds was the smaller one of the 3 of us, so we pushed him up on our shoulders and he got the flags down. But I thought we always got 3 down, because I know I've got 1. I don't know where the other 2 have gone to.
Well, because of the ban, you're now forced to retire, but you retire as our most successful swimmer ever. 4 gold, 4 silver Olympic medals, 6 gold, 2 silver Commonwealth Games medals. And ladies and gentlemen, along the way, Dawn Fraser smashes 41 world records. Now, because of public protest, the ban against you is lifted just before the next Mexico Olympics. Now, how do you think you might have gone in your 4th Olympics had you not been banned?
I think that Gary and I had spoken about going to Mexico as a family, and that I had had plenty of time to have a child, and then I was going to train on for the next 2 years, which would have taken me to get that fitness up for Mexico. And I think that I could have done that, and I think I could have won.
Because your times weren't that far off, were they?
No, they were very close to winning the gold medal that won.
Just tell us how close.
0.2 of a second.
0.2 of a second. That's without any training?
Oh, no, I did do a little bit of training, but I sort of didn't do as hard training as I would have done if I was in the team.
0.2 of a second outside the gold medal winner?
With a push-off.
With a push-off. Why do you think swimming officials wanted you out of the sport?
I've always been a great believer that was the fact that I came from Balmain, the wrong side of the tracks. I came from a working class family. I was unheard of. I beat Lorraine Crapp over a 55-yard handicap. I gave her a second start in the handicap, and the officials were just scratching their heads saying, you know, where is this girl from?
Well, there's only 2 other Australian female swimmers who come anywhere near your records. They're Susie O'Neill and Shane Gould, and send you these.
Hi Dawn, I'm here in Perth, home to the 62 Commonwealth Games, your most successful meet. I'm still in awe of your career, breaking the minute barrier for the 100-metre freestyle, changed swimming forever, and holding the world record for the 100-metre freestyle for 16 years. Sensational. And Dawn, you're a great mentor to young swimmers, inspiring and consoling them. Dawn, you and I shared that magical moment carrying the torch at the opening of the Sydney Olympics. I hope tonight's just as memorable. Congratulations, good on you.
Hi Dawn, hope you're having a great night. Everyone knows you're a great swimmer, but for me, I think your biggest attribute is passing on your experience and encouraging the next generation of sports people such as myself. You're always there with your support and encouragement, and I'll never forget, just before I broke the world record in May, the last person I saw was you, leaning over the balcony just before I was about to march out, going, "Come on, Susie, you can do it." So thanks for your support and have a great night.
Dawn, at 28 in 1965, you give birth to your beautiful daughter, Dawn Lorraine. But the glare of publicity proves too much for your marriage, and you and Gary separate when Dawn Lorraine is just 3 months old. So you raise your best mate as a sole parent. Now, I know you're inseparable, you two, and you must be very proud of her.
I am. I'm extremely proud of her. She's grown into a lovely young woman, and I mean, we have our ups and downs as mother and daughters do, but no, we get on well.
Here she is. Now, that was very funny at the surprise today, because Dawn Lorraine was saying that her mum was looking at her saying, well, get rid of this guy. Is that what was going through your mind?
Well, I knew that's exactly what she wanted, but because I knew it was you, I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I just ignored her, and I'm laughing, and she's getting furious because she's thinking, Dawn Lorraine's not... Because usually I would intercept the person, and she just wasn't amused at all. Like the walk off, you saw the walk with the eyes.
Has it been hard being Dawn Fraser's daughter?
People ask me that all the time, Mike, and I suppose because I've never had anyone else, you know, it's... I look at my best friend and her family, and I think sometimes I'd like a normal life. But then I've had a lot of opportunities to meet the most amazing people in the world. So, you know, you have to take and, you know, give and take, I suppose.
Yeah, but a lot more pluses.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. Would you take a seat next to your mum?
Thank you.
Thank you. Dawn, over the next decade, you go into retail and back to your roots in Balmain, where, of course, you run the Riverview pub. Then there's the movie made about your life.
So, this is a harbour pool. We even get sharks here.
Warts and all.
What sort of sex restrictions do they impose, eh?
Sex restrictions? You've got to be kidding. Sex just before the race gave me the edge on the other girls.
You're having me on.
Scouts honour.
Scouts honour?
Scouts honour.
Is that true? It worked?
Sometimes, yes.
Well, that actor who plays you in that movie is Bronwyn Mackay-Payne, and here she is. Now, Bronwyn, Dawn naturally helped you with mannerisms and style to play that part, didn't she?
She just helped me in every way possible. As consultant for the film, Dawn was there from pre-film training right through to the very last take of the film. She was just like a living script there for me. Any question she would answer, no matter how, you know, into her personal life, anything I wanted to know, she was there for me.
You tell a lovely story about finally being accepted, if you know what I mean.
Yes, well, Dawn had this occasionally. She would just get into the nagging habit, and this particular occasion she'd invited me for dinner with some friends, and out came the nagging, and it was, you should eat those particular vegetables and you should sit up at the table.
Hasn't changed.
You should sit up at the table when everyone else, just because you've finished and everyone else hasn't, etc, etc, etc. I'd been always brought up to respect my elders, so I'd put up with it for quite a while. This night I decided I'd had enough, so I basically spat the dummy and, you know, had my piece. Anyway, of course it was a calculated thing, as it turned out. She turned around and she said, I've waited 8 weeks for this. I think you're ready to play Dawn Fraser.
That's great. Bronwyn, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, I think Dawn's greatest Olympic moment actually came in 1984 in Los Angeles, when Dawn wasn't quite the icon she is now with the Australian Olympic movement, and we flew together to Los Angeles and we called the games from Rod McEwen's home studio. We called it all off the TV screen. And I'd say to Dawn, hey, Dawn, do you think you can get to the swimming in time? Just saying, I don't know, I'm stuck at the hockey now and it's very exciting, but somehow or other we call the game without missing a butt or without missing a beat, all off the TV, all from Rod McEwen's home. And when we got back, the paper said, you know, the coverage in 2KY was more thorough than any other station. They're to be commended for this. Dawn, it was a really great time. The other thing I should tell you is Dawn's the best kisser I've ever been out with.
Dawn, you're 50 when you were elected to the New South Wales Parliament as the independent for Balmain. Your one term in office is often stressful, and you try to tackle issues like pollution, gun control, and of course political hypocrisy. Now, why don't you think politics was for you? As if I don't know.
Well, I found it very hard to lie. And when you're dealing with some very down-to-earth constituents and they really need to be helped, I can't say to them, I can do it. I'm not God. But I would have loved to have really done it for them. And you'd say you'd help them to the best of your ability. You take it into the House, you get a chance to ask a question or to try and do something with the right ministers. And they'd say, yes, Dawn, we'll do it for you. Go away and come back later on. And you know it would never get done. And, you know, I just think that there are certain politicians that do tell lies and live by a lie. And I'm sorry, I can't do that. Yeah. I like sleeping at night time.
Yeah.
And she does that.
And she does that well, does she? And that's why, after the brief stint in politics, you go back to swimming.
Hey, Godmother, do you want to go to the Bahamas?
It's the only brother and sister team to ever swim the English Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tammy and John Van Wisser.
What have you done to your hair? Oh, my God. I wouldn't lose you in the Channel this time.
Tammy, what's this godmother, Bahamas? What's all this?
Well, it's a nickname that we have for her. I mean, she is the godmother and she controls everything that's going on around me while I'm swimming. In fact, she's like the fairy godmother and she looks after me, and I couldn't think of anybody better to take on that role. And together we've gone across the English Channel and Bass Strait and Manhattan and the very cold and scary Loch Ness. And I know you couldn't make it on my recent Murray swim, but I felt that you were there in spirit with me, and it's been a real inspiration to have you on board, and it's a very special thing for me to know you, and I feel very, very privileged. And I'd just like to say that the next swim will be somewhere warmer. Good. We'll think about the Bahamas, OK?
Now, John, Dawn actually saved your life at one stage, is that true?
That's right, Mike. In '93, my first attempt across the Channel, I was pretty skinny. I wasn't as fat as Tammy. As you know, the Channel's pretty cold, and we had a really bad day. It was at 4-6 winds and 2 to 3 metre waves, and I stopped breathing about 4 kilometres from the finish, and Dawn with another chappie jumped in and pulled me out. And I didn't know, but Dawn broke 3 ribs. She didn't tell anyone until after. So around, what's wrong, Dawn? She's got at least a little... Oh, don't worry. So, yeah, Dawn pulled me out and revived me, so I guess I owe you my life.
Yeah. Thank you. It's worth saving.
Tammy, John, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, Dawn, while attending the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, you are suddenly rushed to hospital on the verge of a heart attack. Now, how lucky was it the doctors were able to pick the problem early?
Well, it was very lucky. I said to Dawn Rain, I just got out of the shower and I was talking to one of the managers who wanted me to go and talk to Scotty Miller. And I said, I've just had a shower, so I'll be at the pool in, say, an hour's time. And with that, I sort of sat down on the bed and I felt really, you know, I had terrible pains in my chest, and I just sung out to Dawn Rain, which she come into my room. We had an adjoining room. And when she looked at me, I was just lying down on the bed. She said, what's wrong? And I said, I've just got pains in my chest. Could you go over to the Fox Theatre and get a doctor? And she went to run out the door, and I said, hey, you better come back and put some clothes on first, because she just come out the shower herself. And with that, she ran downstairs, and my driver was down there, and she called 911. And with that, the girls came up, and Patsy had taken my pulse, and it was racing, and she still asked me if I was feeling lots of pains. I just said, I feel as though I have a football team on my chest. And with that, the emergency paramedics came in. And I think my funny quip was I bagged the first choice in the room because they were all handsome men that came in. But it was pretty scary. I had another one in the ambulance going towards to the hospital, and then I remember they put me into intensive care, and I felt I was fading away, and my daughter just over the top of me started crying, and her tears hit my face, and she said, "Don't you do this to me, Mum," and that sort of brought me back out. And I saw the hole that light at the end of the tunnel, and that frightened me.
And the American doctors were good?
Oh yes, very good, yes. In fact, I tried to get Dr. Monix to come out for the Sydney Games, but we couldn't contact him, but he was excellent. They thought I was a diplomat, so he was a little bit frightened to do anything toward me. And I said, "I'm no diplomat, please operate on me if you have to." But then he found out I was Dawn Fraser, the Olympic swimmer, and he just didn't want to touch me at all. But no, he found that he had to give me the stent, and that he was very good, yes.
Well, the next year you turn 60. And celebrations certainly put all heart scares well behind you, as we can see. And joining us is one of your fellow larrikins and your birthday dance partner, ladies and gentlemen, Pluck a Duck. Obviously a dear old friend, Dawn.
Yes, he's lovely. I love Plugger.
You've always had a soft spot for him, haven't you?
Always, always. My heart's racing too, Plugger.
Thanks for coming in, Plugger. Thank you, Plugger. There we go. Take a seat, Plugger. Dawn, it's only at the close of the 20th century that your sporting feats are fully appreciated. Here in Austria, you're named as the world's greatest female swimmer of the century. Then as Australia's woman athlete of the century. And at the Sydney Olympics, you're asked to step in as the Olympic First Lady, asked by one Antonio Samaranch.
Good day, Dawn. I am very pleased and very happy to congratulate you for the high honor you are receiving. You got 4 gold medals and 4 silver medals in the Olympic Games. That is a fantastic record. You are one of the most important athletes in the history of the Olympic Games. And also, I am sure you are the #1 in Australia. Dawn, have a good time, and once again, congratulations.
Dawn, there's no doubt about it, you mean so much to so many people, but there is one bloke that you owe, and he's that medico in Atlanta you just mentioned, and there was no way Dr. Ted Monitz was not going to be here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen.
So good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I tried so hard to get you to come on.
You recently tried to contact Dr.
Yes. Yes, I left messages, 16 messages I think I left.
Funny about that.
I know.
Doctor, was Dawn an easy patient?
Well, the issue of whether she was an easy patient wasn't the problem. You can imagine my surprise getting called to the emergency room to see an Olympic VIP, and being a little bit of an Olympic buff, finding out it was you when I read your electrocardiogram. I think the biggest issue that we had was dealing with the press and the media. In fact, we had to sneak Dawn out of the hospital in a now unknown way.
It was unknown too.
We had to enlist the entire security force of the hospital to get you out of the hospital. I think what was so important about my contact with Dawn was that no matter how she was in her time of illness, she was very, very concerned about not making any issue to upset the swimming team, that her heart lay with her friends and her athletes, and she was very, very concerned about not wanting to be the center of attention.
Yeah, which is our Dawn. Yeah. Doctor, thank you very much for coming all the way from America. Dawn, we all know what a freakish and unique athlete you are, but your other great appeal is that you've never been swept away by your own importance. You've never forgotten your humble beginnings from Balmain, and you have always, always remained true blue. Dawn Fraser, this is your life.